It has been 542 days since the start of quarantine last March 17, 2020. That's 1 year, 5 months, and 24 days as of the release date of this video. In about 4 months, it will most likely be our second Christmas in quarantine. Some have even celebrated their second birthday while in lockdown. In 6 months' time, holding all things equal, every Filipino will be celebrating the second anniversary of our pandemic lives. What we have now in this period of our lives is more time to think more about time. Punta ka siya pakinggan, pero aminin nyo, we have asked ourselves more questions related to time during this quarantine more than any other period of our lives. When will this end? How many minutes bago dumating ang order ko? Gaano pa ba katagal dadaldal tong kausap ko sa Zoom? When will we achieve herd immunity? How many episodes more before I go to sleep? Ikaw, ilang oras ka nang natutulog? You see, time is an enigmatic concept. Hindi mo siya kayang i-define without any use of time-related references. Sige, ikaw, can you give a definition of time? Di ba ang hirap? So, what is it? Is it a force? Is it an energy? A social construct? There's even a big debate in the scientific community of how should we understand the concept of time. So, ang ginawa natin is we resorted to simplifying time based on what we do with it. Downtime, power hour, right timing, break time, sem break, quarter life crisis, a well-lived life. But then, quarantine happened. Time as we know it appears to have stopped. With the silence and pause forced upon us, we have more time on our hands, but it's an illusion. It's not like an additional 25th hour was added sa oras natin. It's still the same 24/7 for all of us. But the lockdown has completely removed all the activities and the mundane stuff that used to comprise our day before the quarantine. We were forced to let go of things that used to consume our time. Dati yung pag-commute mula bahay papuntang work, that's 1 hour. Dati, lining up sa order sa fast food, that's around 10 to 15 minutes. Dati yung small talks or chikahan sa office pantry, that's normally around a few minutes. And there are many more. Even the littlest things, once taken into account, pag pinagsama-sama mo, they accumulate to what we call a normal day before the pandemic. We just never really gave much thought into them. Di naman natin kasi kinakalculate yung bawat segundo or minute na ina-allocate natin sa mga small activities na tulad nun, di ba? And these will not be back until the pandemic ends. So the critical question is, what have you replaced them with during this quarantine? Well, especially sa panahon ngayon, the better social narrative to adhere to is that there is no clear rule on what activities our 24/7 should be comprised of. The world we used to operate on na merong defined work schedule, rest days, school semester, summer break, holiday mood, we can't expect that we can conveniently follow those during this pandemic. Because all of these were conceptualized and formulated at a time na wala naman tayong kinakalabang pandemic virus. So it's an unfair expectation that we can absolutely replicate the normal days that we used to do before. But here's a perspective that you need to consider. There are many things people have mindlessly been doing before COVID-19 struck our world. Everything is a routine, society is operating like a machine. Now that our days have been freed sa gantong structure ng mundo, we have more time to be conscious of the things that we do. So be more conscious on where your time has been reallocated. Ikaw lang makakasagot niyan. It can be geared towards rest, productivity, leisure, helping the community, survival or whatnot. Just be intentional with it. Kasi ito, come to think of it, if it was harder for us to have some time to reflect and think about our life choices, what we're going to do with our lives back when we were so busy before the pandemic, why not use time now with so much intentionality? I'm not sure if it's just me, but daydreaming, thinking about nostalgic memories, and looking forward for the future are the normal things that I get to do during this quarantine. And an analogy that can help you think clearer is time and money. Think about it, there are a lot of parallelisms between time and money. They say time is gold. And gold suggests premium value. And we had the gold standard before. Spend, consume, save, all of those verbs we can use both for time and money. Financial management and time management are both critical life skills that everybody should learn. For the privileged people that we are, ramdam natin to. Objectively speaking, we have more time on our hands in a work-from-home setup, being confined in our homes. My point is not what should you exactly do during this quarantine. I'm not going to impose that. It's up for you to decide. You can spend more time for self-care, for your hustles, for studying, for watching Netflix. As long as you can say to yourself that I decided to do this, I'm doing this with so much purpose. A good quote that I read from John Maxwell is this: an unintentional life accepts everything and does nothing. An intentional life embraces only the things that will add to the mission of significance. Ponder on that thought. And how you define significance is a personal matter. Because unlike the money which we can earn back, we can't rewind these rare quarantine days. It's safe to say naman siguro na walang gustong maka-experience ng pangalawang pandemic in their lifetime, no? No? Eventually, once we reach the end of this pandemic, once we win over the COVID-19 health crisis, we will look back in quarantine period. And for whatever you decided to do during these times, for whatever activity you put a value on, I hope you can say it was a time well spent. I'm Andrew Beso, and these are my musings while in quarantine. If I made you think, if I made you consider my points here, then I hope you can consider liking and subscribing. I share my thoughts in video and written format. You can check it on my YouTube channel, check the other videos, and also you can read it on my blog post. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you take care. Bye!